Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I did a video a few days ago. You would have seen like this news floating around, basically, that we're getting a Gotham police series set directly in the universe of Matt Reeves' The Batman. And it's going to be on HBO Max. It is Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, so it's Robert Pattinson. And it is firmly that. It's rumoured now to be a prequel, I believe. Not 100% certain if that's confirmed, but I know that it's rumoured to be a prequel. And inevitably, in the current climate we're in, a lot of questions would have been thrown out instantly of, like, how are they even able to make this? And it's concerning that we then start to get headlines like this. How a The Batman TV show could explore policing in today's climate. Because of course you know, ladies and gents, that all police, all of them, apparently are abhorrent. All of them are institutionally discriminatory. We know it's a fact, guys. Of course, it's a fact. I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. And we now know that, of course, we're not able to watch police shows, or we're not able to think that police do good jobs anymore. This is the climate that we live in. So obviously, a lot of people were concerned and just a little bit like, well, how are they able to do this? Well, it looks like that this may be the direction they go in, i.e. just nitpicking away at the police again, time and time again. That's what this report is, anyway, on The Hollywood Reporter. Now, they are not saying that this is the case. They are positing a theory that it could cover that, and that's what they want it to cover. But remember, ladies and gents, that this is in early development. Current climate that we're in now, whilst this is in development, I would stipulate, or at least I would theorise that this is probably quite likely to be the case. Because if it is going to be a prequel, then it's going to be establishing the reasons as to why Batman takes up the mantle. So be prepared for, yet again, another, or basically it's just going to be police bashing. Now, they are not above critique. I think everything is worth criticising and worth debate, healthy debate, but just to dismantle the entire sort of world opinion on the police force is a farce. It's a joke, and you know, it is what it is. I know there'll be people that disagree with me, but hey, look, in the UK, I firmly believe that the police do a pretty damn good job. So it is what it is, and obviously it's geographical. But I personally don't want to see a Gotham police series that is just ripping on the police non-stop. I don't think that that makes for an interesting series, and we're going to get into it today. But I do want to let you all know, guys, we are 6 days out from me shooting my original film, Black Fields. But it also means, basically, it's like I'm getting really, really busy now because we're about to shoot literally on Sunday. But it also means that we're 6 days away from the competition closing. So if you want to be in for a chance of winning a hoodie and also a prop, check it out. There's a link down below to the GoFundMe. I am crowdfunding this indie film. I believe that's the future of movies, because otherwise we're just going to get crap like this. And this is crap, if this is how they're going to go anyway. So let's dive into this, shall we? So if the upcoming HBO Max show follows the comics, it has the opportunity to be a progressive TV series about the justice system. Now, I don't particularly care about like progressiveness in general. I reviewed, what was it, The Old Guard, a movie which was not it really was not very good at all. But it wasn't bad because of its progressive inclusion, right? It was just bad for many other reasons. I don't care too much about progressive inclusion in series. It doesn't bother me. It's when it's ham-fisted and it's there thrust in your face as if, look at me, look at me. The world isn't like that. You know, I don't care about inclusion as long as it's representative of the world that we actually live in, which is just, it is. But apparently we can't have that. Everything needs to be on a pedestal. And this is the line that they're taking, and I think it's a shame. So Gotham City is under reconstruction and it's expanding. Matt Reeves, who has already been handed the keys to the Bat Kingdom with the upcoming feature The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, will get to further explore Gotham City alongside writer Terrence Winter. Now Terrence Winter is good. He did Boardwalk Empire. He's very good. And I was really on board for this. I did the news piece and I was like, this sounds awesome. This sounds great. Like, I really am. But then we start to get this, and then I start to, my skepticism starts to grow because I start to take a step back and I go, actually, let's not get too hyped just yet, because we do live in a climate where apparently everyone wants to destroy the police force. So it's probably not going to turn out very well. Now, obviously that will be on HBO Max, and the series, which falls under Reeves' recent deal with Warner Brothers TV, is said to be largely inspired by the critically acclaimed 40-issue comic series Gotham Central by Greg Rucka and Ed Brubaker. Now, hilariously, Greg Rucka is the guy who wrote The Old Guard. And I think it was even Ed Brubaker as well. I think. I'm not sure. I know Greg Rucka did. So if you don't like The Old Guard because of its inclusion, you probably won't like this TV series. But also, I think predominantly what's so concerning, for me anyway, about Greg Rucka is he wrote The Old Guard movie and it was shit. Like it's bad writing, right? Like it watches like a 2000s movie. It's not good. So that's concerning. Now, the comic series, which ran from 2002 to 2006, focused on the law enforcement and district attorney's offices in Gotham, with Rucka dealing with the Gotham City Police Department's day shift and Brubaker taking on the nights. The announcement of the series comes at a time when there's every reason to be critical of the role of law enforcement in our media. Is there really? And the influence of cops in superhero stories. But Reeves and Winter have the opportunity to modernise the scope of the comic and tackle the failings of a corrupt system in the vein of Damon Lindelof's Watchmen. Of course. Of course. Of course. Yeah. Whatever. Although we've yet to get a glimpse of Matt Reeves' Gotham in The Batman, it seems he has long-term plans for the Cape Crusaders city. The new series will be in the same universe as The Batman, but it's unclear at this time whether Pattinson's Batman, Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon, or Colin Farrell's Penguin will play a role as their characters did in the comics. In the Gotham Central comics, Batman's presence was frequently felt, but he was rarely seen, except for a shadow or silhouette, contributing to his mythic nature. I think that's unlikely because if it's a prequel, which is rumoured to be, then we're not going to be getting Batman, because we're getting Batman in his early days, sort of anyway, in this one. But who knows? Now, villains like the Joker, Penguin, Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze showed up in the series, but minor Bat villains like Firebug and Black Spider were also given a chance to shine, which could be a great chance for the HBO Max series to introduce some villains who would never get a chance to star in sequels to The Batman. For those wondering what makes Gotham Central so different from the television series Gotham, which ran on Fox for 5 seasons, it's that Gotham Central was not an origin story for Batman and his villains, nor based in cartoony Burton Schumacher-inspired police work. Instead, Gotham Central, and evidently the HBO Max series, and this is what's concerning, is based on grounded detective works, that's fine, and complex psychological examinations of the weight and responsibility of what it means to uphold the law in America's most corrupt fictional city. And that's fine, but it's the other side of it that they are looking to push in this, right? And that is not good. So here they go on, they say, look, James Gordon would appear occasionally in the comic series, but the stories were largely focused on the efforts of Marcus Driver, Romy Chandler, Josie Mark Rene Montoya, or Josie, I don't know, Crispus Allen, and Maggie Sawyer, as they investigated crimes committed by Gotham's most notorious rogues and dangerous C-listers looking to make bigger names for themselves. Hopefully, Wright will turn up as Gordon in several episodes. He absolutely would, because he's done Westworld and stuff, so yeah, I don't see why not. But the series doesn't have to rely on him. Montoya, of course, played by a prominent role in Kathy Yan's Birds of Prey, where she was portrayed by Rosie Perez. Although the Batman and the HBO series take place in a Gotham separate from that of Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, there is little doubt that Montoya, presumably portrayed by an actor other than Perez, will play a prominent role in the new series. The Gotham Central arc, in which Montoya is outed by the department as lesbian and kidnapped by Two-Face, is considered one of the series' most significant story arcs and led to the character's increased presence across DC's books and eventually a role as a private investigator. The Question, likewise, Crispus Allen also became large presence in DC Comics, eventually taking on the mantle of the Spectre, which could create an eventual tie between J.J. Abrams' proposed Justice League Dark series, should that be the direction that the franchise heads in. Right. So, and then we get on to the real crux of why I think this is going to be concerning. My main concern is all about the fact that they're just going to poo-poo police all day long. But it's not the promise of eventual superheroes and Justice League connections that makes the concept of this new series so appealing. One of the aspects of Gotham Central that made it such a standout book was its diverse cast of characters. Montoya is a gay Latina, don't care. And then you've got Alan and Mac, are black, and Sawyer is also gay. There's no means to do a contemporary show but centered around police and not reckon with the backgrounds of those characters and the role they play as police. Fine, I guess. It's not really overly relevant though, is it? Let's be honest. It's as relevant as you make it. Like, in their role as police, you know, they're not going to be kissing some villains, are they? Like, it's kind of irrelevant what way they swing. I always find that baffling. It's the same as superheroes, right? You know, they're not going to, I don't know, become infatuated with one of the villains and Superman's going to, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, it just seems largely irrelevant, but whatever. As irrelevant as heterosexuality as well. Like, I just think it's all pretty irrelevant. Now, Ruckert and Brubaker's comic was pretty forward-thinking in that regard for the 2000s. It's never been forward-thinking. No one has ever really cared. This is the problem. Like, you're repainting history here. You're rewriting history. Oh, it's forward-thinking. No. No one really cares anyway. Whatever. And didn't shy away from tackling police corruption, of course. But those considerations can be taken further, of course. In fact, after 2020, they have to be, of course. Of course. Given Winter's complex take on cops and criminals in Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos, and The Wolf of Wall Street, there's little doubt. But those ones were taking place at times where police were largely corrupt. Like, what are you on about? Oh my god. There's little doubt he'll force characters to ask tough questions about themselves and the state of crime in Gotham. Well, let me guess, right, ladies and gents? I bet you Montoya, the gay Latina, is going to be absolutely fine. Alan and Mac, the black guys, or girls, I don't know whether they're guys or girls, they're going to be absolutely fine. And Sawyer, of course, homosexual, is absolutely going to be fine. And everyone else is going to be corrupt. Yes? That's kind of what they're sounding like. It's just so lame. So lame. You don't even have to read this stuff. You just know it's going to be the case. Anyway, so basically, you're going to ask tough questions about themselves and the state of crime in Gotham and its relation to not only to maniacs, but poverty, racism, and mental illness. Of course. If the inspiration of Gotham Central for the HBO Max show leads to one concrete theme on which to lean on, it's that the cops in this show aren't superheroes, but humans susceptible to failure and frustration who ultimately become fed up with the way things are or settle for a system that's fatal. Of course. Systemic. Blah, blah, blah. Of course it is. And then they touch on, like, Batman and the fact that he's a philanthropist and, you know, he should be doing all these other things to help people and, you know, donations, free clinics, etc. and all this stuff. But my main take on this is that I think, you know, if you don't like Greg Rucka's stuff, you're not going to like this show. I highly doubt it. If they're going to base it on that anyway. I think, like, we definitely should have a healthy dose of skepticism. And this is from a man that really liked the news initially. But I just think ultimately, look, how are they going to be able to make this show and not have everyone just poo-poo it? It's HBO for starters. Like, HBO is a concern now. Some of the stuff that they have on is, like, it is somewhat concerning in terms of its ham-fisted nature. So, anyway, I'd love to, let me know your thoughts. Because to me, I'm undecided, but my skepticism is raising ever so slightly. So, undecided, but skeptical. And you just have to take a look at shows being cancelled left, right, and centre. So, also, HBO Max were the ones that put a massive warning and, like, an educational video at the start of Gone with the Wind. So, there you go, I guess. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Stay up to date on the world of pop culture movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Thank you all so much. Take care.